Being rich gives you power, and unfortunately, some people use this power to murder people. In this video, we are going to look at 5 insanely rich people who are murderers. Number 1. Robert Durst. Robert Durst is the heir to American real estate mogul Samara Durst. Right now, he's suspected of murdering 3 people. The people he's accused of murdering are Kathleen McCormick Durst, his first wife who disappeared in 1982, his longtime friend Susan Berman, who was killed in 2000, and Robert's neighbor Morris Black, who was killed in 2001. These are the cases that have direct ties to Durst, but people think that he may have killed others. He was charged with murdering Black, but claimed at his trial in 2003 that a gun fired while he was defending himself during a tussle with his neighbor. Testifying in his own defense, Durst said, "The gun was aiming at me, he was pushing the gun towards me, and I was trying to pull the gun away." Despite the fact that Durst dismembered Black after this supposed tussle, he was acquitted. He was arrested in 2015 for the murder of Suzanne Berman, and the trial is still ongoing. Number 2. Michael Skakel. The Skakel family was a wealthy family that was closely related to the Kennedys. Back in the day, Michael Skakel had a crush on a girl named Martha Moxley. Martha was later discovered dead, with her pants and underwear pulled down and her head bashed in with a golf club that was resting next to her body. The golf club was traced back to the Skakel family. His brother Thomas Skakel was the last person to be seen with Martha and is considered a suspect. Both Thomas and Michael were given lie detector tests, which they both passed. Over the following years, multiple people claimed that Michael admitted to killing Martha though. Michael's story about where he was when Martha died kept on changing over the years. In 2000, Michael Skakel was charged with Martha's murder and he was later convicted. But after several years of appeals, Michael was granted a new trial because the court agreed that his first lawyer was inadequate. So right now, he currently lives as a free man. Number 3. Nathan Leopold and Richard Loeb. Nathan Leopold and Richard Loeb were sons of the extremely wealthy, and both were considered very smart with promising futures. Despite this, the young men would frequently commit small crimes like minor theft and would stake their futures on committing the perfect murder. They rode around looking for potential victims until they eventually settled on a man named Bobby Franks. They persuaded Bobby to come into their car and killed him with a chisel. They also sent a ransom note to the boy's family the next morning. Bobby's body was quickly found along with a pair of eyeglasses. Police traced the prescription back to Nathan Leopold, causing the boys to quickly confess. Nathan Leopold and Richard Loeb were both sentenced to life in prison. Richard Loeb was stabbed in the prison showers, passing away at age 30. Nathan Leopold served 33 years in prison until he was paroled. Number 4. Phil Spector. Phil Spector was a music producer who was responsible for a lot of pop records that came out in the 1960s, working with famous singers like Ike and Tina Turner and John Lennon. He worked for decades as a famous and immensely successful music producer, but once his career died down, he became depressed and stayed to himself. In 2003, his name came up in headlines again for shooting actress Lena Clarkson in his home. He was charged with murder, but his first trial in 2007 ended in a mistrial. During his 2008 retrial, the judge ruled that the jurors could consider the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter as well as the original murder charge. He was later found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 19 years in prison. He filed several appeals which were all rejected. Number 5. The Menendez Brothers. Lyle and Eric Menendez are the sons of wealthy entertainment executive Jose Menendez and Mary. When Jose and Mary were murdered initially, the brothers weren't suspected. After the death of their parents, they immediately started spending the money they had inherited, took vacations, bought cars, and new homes. This caused them to go from unexpected to primary suspects. Eric ended up confessing to killing his parents to his psychologist. He later threatened his psychologist, which caused him to tell his mistress about Eric's confessions, and she told the police. The brothers were quickly arrested. At trial, the brothers' defense claimed that they had killed their parents because their father had been molesting Eric and that their father threatened to kill them if they ever revealed this to the public. They even brought in family members who stated that Eric had told them about the abuse. The first 2 trials ended in mistrials, but the brothers were later convicted and sentenced to life in prison at a 3rd trial. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like. Peace.